Afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to SimTraX Broadcasting. We are here with the Bandit Racing League here for the Season 12 review. This is going to be the first time for SimTraX and for the Bandit Racing League. Going ahead and kicking this one off tonight as a kind of a recap here is what we're looking for. We're going to get a little bit of stats here tonight. You're actually going to see how a successful league is put together. A lot of drivers are going to be kind of poking in a little bit here and there, starting to put a little something where they can start giving themselves the opportunity to voice their opinion. They'll be able to say different things and work on from there to maybe a couple of questions, a couple of rule changes. They're going to be poking around and a few other things. And another thing is being able to grab those finances out there. Is there's going to be able to squeeze it out and come out with a better product coming into Season 13. Now, we've also, if you guys have tuned in before, you notice we've got 3 different cars, and we'll recap that at the end of the broadcast here, but we should see how these guys do well here tonight, and it should definitely unfold and change into something else. So now as we move on to the league meeting here, right now I do find where Bill Harkins is out there, and right now Bill Harkins with the Bandit Racing League is going to kick it off here tonight. And Bill, right now we've got a heck of a season coming up, and actually a season we just finished here. Now, Nick Nickerson comes away as our next champion here of the league. Everybody else is still playing chase. I know Jackson Knock just barely missed it. Brett Guzik missed the playoffs by half a gallon of fuel to come away with the win there at Rockingham. So talk to me a little bit about the league and what we've got coming up here in the next couple of rounds.
So what we're doing here, with tonight, is really just giving everybody an opportunity to see the behind the scenes of how everything functions. And when you talk about Season 12, the ending that we had was phenomenal. Story couldn't have been written any better there at the end with Brett running out of fuel, Jackson really struggling to hold on to that lead, and then the GOAT of our league, going and getting his 3rd championship. So it was a quite interesting finisher to Season 12.
All righty. Well, Bill, I appreciate you coming and joining us here tonight as leading it off here. We'll also have drivers like Jackson Knock hanging out in here. Dawson Guzik, we see him on camera currently. Ethan Sikorsky joining us as well. Looks like he is ready to go here tonight. Brett Guzik, you see a heartbreaker race that he had. Hopefully he's going to be able to kick it in high gear next season and be able to take it away. Waiting to see if Connor's going to fix his camera and that room looking disgusting out there. Jay, who may be joining in a little bit later here in this upcoming season, and Sean Britt, who came in, started off the playoffs, but unfortunately had to check out due to some personal issues. And Sean, appreciate you joining us here tonight, man. Excellent job, and appreciate all you guys joining us here. Bill, talk to me as we get this started here with a league meeting. How do we start this off? I mean, we can probably kind of, look at this a little different, and I don't think a lot of people grasp what it takes to make the league successful. And I've got to say, probably finances are probably the first thing on everybody's mind, and attendance has got to be another one.
Yes, absolutely. It takes money to run anything in the world. We all know that. It's just common sense. I have been open with the guys in the league since I started this league. At the end of the year, I always give them a review of where we were financially. And they've all appreciated it because there's not any other league that I'm aware of that really puts their finances right out there or, breaks it down quite as much as I will. So that's where I'll start off tonight. We'll go into that. Where we're at basically with the expenses, the standard expenses it takes, and I have to read from my notes because I didn't have time to do a PowerPoint. What it takes, the standard expenses to run a league. In Discord, I have to have Nitro, so that's a cost that's involved. The website that we have is a cost involved. The domain name for the Bandit Racing League is a cost. iRacing is a cost. 22 races that we hold are $1.50 a piece. Not bad, but still $1.50 a piece. Then we hold a practice every Tuesday, which is $1.13 because I only do that for 3 hours. Then when we put the broadcast together, it gives us an expense this year of everything. Now, what this won't include, because I haven't done it yet, it won't include the trophy cost. The ring cost isn't going to cost anything for the league because Eddie Hagge has, you know, said that he will cover that as part of the champion moving on. And the most improved, those expenses won't be in this number. And I haven't done the decals that I sent out to the guys either. So that expense, so small expense, it'll be a small amount difference. But what it costs us to run the league this year was $1,187.67, roughly. We had incoming funds of $581.11. And that breaks down with sponsorship from LET Oils, Kevin Foster with the Perfect Shine Auto Spa, Nicole, our race control, actually helps out. Eddie Hagge is sponsored a race this year. You hear in the broadcast over and over again about how the merch helps fund the league. And in the past, it did a pretty decent job of that. This year, not so well. The only money I collected from spring this year, I collected the $152.29, which was left over from last season. Right now, there's like $23 that I can go after. So this number, 581, would increase by $23 if I went after that money. So we're not talking much. One of the things that we really lost in this year that helped us a lot last year, the Apex Sim discount. That money that comes back to us. Last year, we were the second highest league in the entire Apex system for sales. And we ended up bringing home $402.84 from that. This year, we brought $23.82. Dawson did his race sponsorship also. So that gave us the incoming of $581.11. So obviously, with those numbers, we're upside down $606.56. Season 12, for an example, we were upside down $245.61. And I know that that's part of this, and I accept that that's part of it. The league has always been free and will remain free. We try to cover all these costs between the merchandise, the race sponsorships, the discount codes for the products. But I can say that's the highest amount we've ever been upside down. And I take responsibility for that to some degree because I waited till the last second to get stuff together. The very first broadcaster that we had backed out the week before we were supposed to put this together. The new broadcaster, he came in, and for lack of any other way to put it, did not cut it. So we lost that broadcaster. When that broadcaster was in place, FMR, Fred Mott Racing Enterprises, that was a $1,500 sponsorship that went away because the broadcast was so terrible. That's a friend of mine. I think we're going to get him back for 13, but I can't guarantee that. So I can't count on that, obviously. When we picked up Patrick and SimTraX, man, the whole world changed for us again. Marshall with Full Send, phenomenal job. Patrick and Stella, phenomenal job. It put us right back where we need to be in the broadcast side of things, and very appreciative of that. So, with that being said, we've got to get the races sponsored for season 13. I can't absorb $600 again. I will if I have to, because I know as a league owner, I am the one who signs the agreement with Patrick. And whether the money comes in or not, I'm ultimately responsible for it. But your guys' race sponsorships that you give do help. And I can tell you that I have had people come back and tell me that they have actually bought something or looked somebody's company up from stuff. So does it work for everyone? No, because you guys are regional. You know, I'll just use Eddie's mom's company as an example. Um, her company's pretty regional. So people over in Washington or Texas aren't really going to know what that is, and they're not really going to go to it. But they don't do that for that reason. They do it because they're supporting the driver in the league. So we have to get those picked up again this year. Las Vegas, now let me correct myself. The deal that I made with LAT Oils, so Brandon Gears, he has done a lot behind the scenes for me with the website, with other things I've asked him to do. So I cut him a good break to be pretty much the presenting sponsor for a while there. Plus, I wanted him to be able to debut their brand new commercial. So that deal worked out for him pretty good. In a nutshell, I ended up covering 10 races with Geezer Authentics. So we got to work better on that side of things. Again, excuse me, my throat's getting froggy. We are a free league. You are not obligated to sponsor a race. I'm not telling you have to sponsor a race. I don't judge you. I don't give somebody a break because they sponsor a race. I don't not give somebody a break because that's not how this works. So please be aware of that. So on the financial side of things, that's kind of how the numbers turned out. Does anybody, Patrick, do you have any question on that?
Well, actually, we're going to kind of shift gears here a little bit and look over toward the chat. Mama Goose out there is saying Next Chapter Outdoors will sponsor a race next season. And Dawson Guzik also saying he is also going to be sponsoring a race with Dr. G Power Washing out there. So it looks like you've already got a call for 2 races that will be sponsored. And I guarantee you, I even told you when we started, if you run Charlotte, I'm going to cover that as well. Definitely to help and chip in. But what can people do out there, to kind of, I would say, help generate money flow, try to get guys to keep kind of floating around and making things happen?
So Next Chapter has been with us in the past, and it's been very appreciated. So Mama Goose always give you the love on everything. So not a problem. We love that idea of you guys coming back again. If somebody is interested in sponsoring a race, the absolute best way to join, I can't even use my words. The best way to contact me is to go to the Bandit Racing League website. There's a contact down there at the bottom. Just send me a message. That's the easiest way. And I can answer Douglas Ross's message also. Douglas, the best thing to do is look us up on iRacing. We are accepting applications right now, so just look up Bandit Racing League and send your application in. And the process that I go through on the applications is I look at your history of what you're doing on the sim. A, how long you've been there. B, I'll look at your last 3, 4, 5, or 6 races and see how many incident points you were averaging. I'll look at your I rating. I'll look at your SR rating. And then we decide from there. But what I'll also do is I will add you to my friends list, or I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. But on iRacing, I can add you, and I can go and watch you when you're in races. And I can see how you actually perform in the races. So that's kind of the process of what I go through to decide, who can come in and who can't. So I may be watching you and you might not even have a clue that we're there watching you. That's why. Oh, and Kevin, I'll get to that also later. So let's move forward then. Patrick, you have any questions for me in this section?
Well, it seems I hate seeing you guys at a deficit, and definitely, hopefully, we can get some of those sponsors back that you unfortunately lost in the process of finding a couple of broadcast teams out there. I'm glad we were able to join with you guys. I have been with a few broadcasted leagues that I've done, and you guys are probably one of the best out there. The least caused cautions out there. You guys doing a fantastic job, and racing more of as teams and teammates out there rather than just kind of a free for all and guys racing like bumper cars. Now, don't get me wrong, we get to those short tracks, things start happening, but then you guys race out there at Rockingham and blow me away. I have no idea how in the world that happens, but that is definitely something to consider here, Bill, is kind of when we look at the financials, if we're already in the hole from one season to the next, it's a little bit of struggle to move on to the next onto the next stage, and it does take a lot of help from everybody to help it, to keep the wheels turning. It can't just be one guy.
Yeah, and I want to make it very clear, I will never ever turn a profit in this league, because if there's a profit, it's going back to the league. I'm not here for a profit. I do this for those that are watching for the first time ever. I do this for one reason, well, three reasons. I got to do this in real life. I drove myself. I traveled with a national touring series. I've pit crewed live races, even when they didn't have speed limits on pit road. So I've experienced all this. I've done the live interview on pit road, all that stuff. And the only thing that I can't give you as a racer by providing you a league like this is, we give you the format to race on. We give you the live broadcasted races. What I can't give you is G-force. But for the right price, I can come over to your rig while you're driving, and as soon as you go into the wall, I will kick the rig as hard as I possibly can. And then you'll know what the G-force feels like a little bit. Or he jumps on the head.
Just so we all know, what's that price?
so I do this. The price is it's reasonable. We'll negotiate. So I do this because I got to experience all this, and I love it. And when I walked away from racing on a national level in 2008, I lost all the companionship I had at the racetrack with all the guys that you see week in and week out. And in Discord and in the races, you truly get that companionship. You get to, bust agates, for wanting to choose better words, with these guys and talk about stuff and joke around like you do at the racetrack. So I do this because there are people out here that will never, ever get to experience what I've experienced, Brett has experienced. There's other drivers in the league that have also experienced this type of feeling in racing. So that's why it's done this way, and that's why it will never turn a profit. If we'd had a $1,500 sponsor, I guarantee you the remainder of that money would have went right back into you guys, and it would have went into awards and whatever. We'd add a raffle if if worse be. So that's how this is set up, and that's what it's for. So that's where I'm at.
All right. Well, to get a sponsor, we've obviously got to we got to review over the stats. No one's gonna sponsor some crummy races or guys, smashing them all up, running 15, 18 cautions out there. So what are some of the good and bad stats out there? Maybe, what a sponsor would be looking for.
Let me ask real quick, and I don't want to spend much more time on this. In Discord, did any of you guys have a question in regards to the cost of things?
Yeah, I got a question. Why did you turn down my money that I sent you earlier this year?
Because if you remember at that point of the year, that's when we were in the middle of the broadcast situation, and we were almost done.
Yeah. Well,
but
I would like to
send
that
money.
Yeah, I'll send it again because I don't want you to be paying for all this stuff. I mean, we all have equal fun here. And I got some funds to throw your way to offset, the deficit for sure.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But you know what my goal is here. So you've been here as long as everybody else. So anybody else have a question?
I do want to just kind of echo Nick. I think, the reason I'm sponsoring the championship ring is because I remember Robert Mathis did that a few years ago. He was in the league a couple seasons ago. And I just think, certainly not to ask anyone to go over their means, but I think we all have a lot of fun and enjoyment and community in this league. And like Nick says, not that you're upset about it, but it doesn't fall on you to have all this expense. So, if everyone could just, sponsor a race or two, I know we all get 40 or 50 bucks of enjoyment out of this for 5 months. If you have the means, it is helpful. And I know we all want to see this league keep going as long as it can.
Appreciate that. And that's very true. In the past, I would put the schedule out and we would be sold out of races within 3 weeks. All right, let's move on to the numbers. So through the numbers, guys, this season, 53 different drivers attempted to run with us. Season 11, we had 52. Difference between season 11 and season 12 is we went to a 3-car format in season 12. Always ran single car formats before then. That was a big risk. And actually, in my opinion, I believe it was successful. And the numbers that prove that is really this. 14 different winners. 5 of those were first-time winners. We had 10 different winners in season 11. I think 2 first-time winners out of that. The downside to what season 12 produced this year, and I do believe it has something to do with the 3 cars. We only had 3 drivers with 100% participation. And I want to give those 3 particular people a shout out. Connor Gibson, David Lakey, and Kevin Foster. Even though Kevin lost his connection and got booted out in that one race. That means a lot to me. It means we had a shit ton of people. Oops, sorry. We had a poop ton of people.
That's it. First one for the swear jar.
First one.
Monetized.
So we had a poop ton of people do 21 races and 20 races. But the actual 100% participation was 3. Prior to that, the lowest number was 5. So I'd like to see that number come back up. Cautions. We had 138 cautions this year. That averages 6.27 per race. On average, it was about every 6.27 is what the true number is to that. We went 4 races caution free. 3 of those were road courses, so those are freebies. The absolute most surprising, and if you guys ever told me we do it again, I'd bet the farm and lose it, was that Rockingham race. The fact that you guys went caution free at Rockingham tells me that every driver in here can pull their head out of their rear tail section every once in a while, drive with their steering wheels and their feet, and do some racecraft. That was impressive for you guys, for all of us. Appreciated. Shocker. Big shocker. 310 lead changes in the race this year. So that's like 14 lead changes per race, average. When it comes to diversity, we really looked at this and said, can we do a 3-car format and not have somebody dominate the whole season? And the answer to that is yes. I'm going to give you a rundown on this. So Eddie, Heggy, the 2 races that you won this year, 1 in Xfinity, 1 in Cup. Ben, 1 in trucks, 1 in Xfinity. Nick, 2 in Cup, 1 in truck. Eric, Xfinity and truck. Brandon, Banks, Cup. Foster, Xfinity. Brett, Xfinity. Bivouac, truck and Xfinity. David Lakey, truck. Sean, Cup, 2 times. Mason, truck and Xfinity. Nick K, by the way, truck. Brandon Jackson, Cup. Platt, Xfinity. Nobody dominated a car class this year. And that's what I was looking for. In the past, when we would run only the Xfinity car, and I'm not even going to call out who it is, but 8 wins in one season, 10 in another season. The numbers speak for themselves. Mixing the format up worked. But it's scary. It's rightfully scary. So we may change that up a little bit this year. What we may do with this, as far as through the numbers go, maybe in season 13, we take and we run Xfinity for 6 weeks. Then we run Next Gen for 6 weeks. Then we run 87s for 6 weeks. Or 3, 3, 3, something like that. A little more consistency in what car we're at each week. Maybe. It's being discussed. The numbers show me a definite improvement from previous seasons. So I'm happy with it. Quite happy with it. And I hope you guys, as the drivers, are also happy with it. Pat, did you have a question on any of that?
Not so far. I would ask if this is the first season that we went to 3 cars. Could that be any possibility of attendance issues?
I believe it is. I honestly do believe it is. We were fortunate in picking up the DBR guys. That was 7 guys that came in. If you take those 7 guys out, we were below the number of what we would have normally had. And they were 7 quality drivers. It took our strength of field rating and really jacked it up and made the competition tough. So I do believe that the 3 different format has turned some people off and has made it to where some are like, it's Rockingham, I'm not going. I do believe that.
Yeah, but it also eliminated the dominance factor. It ended up becoming races that anybody could go out there and win. Even if you weren't a road course guy, you still may have a chance of a top 5. If a guy's not used to racing in a cup car, or you're used to racing it in the trucks, this was your chance to break out of that box a little bit. I mean, we rode with Nick Nickerson, and he seemed to have no problem out there in the trucks. We saw how Bivouac was doing out there. He was rolling just fine. But then we switch it back over where we're super speedway, and some of your guys that were just so fast at a race course, or or road course, or in the certain vehicle that they appreciate the most, we've now taken you out of your comfort zone, put you in another vehicle. And I think what it does, what the 3-car deal changes, is it now gives you a champion of the 3-car set. It's now the best out of all 3 of those vehicles. And honestly, I've told you when I applied for this was an idea I thought about running in my own league, is if there was a way to get somebody to race in the trucks and not come out to win 8 to 10 races, that just takes the wind out of everybody's sails. Why do I want to show up? It's the same guy winning every freaking week. But this gives me an opportunity where, hey, Sean Britt wins this weekend, and then we got Dawson Guzik wins another weekend, and then, Bill, then you have a chance. And I really think that the separation worked very well. How that worked, and how that all came about. And Marshall's even saying he might think a consideration of changing the 3-car schedule and just need to space the cars out in the playoffs to ensure no end of the year dominance by a certain specialist. So a lot of
Yeah,
guys
I
are
was
kind of
actually
agreeing
reading
with the
that.
same thing there.
Yeah, I'm not too far off of that. I totally agree with that. And I definitely think, you know, even the people who are watching, do they want to sit on here every week and see the same one, two, or three guys just dominate all the time? No. I watch a lot of league races through the week, and I can almost turn on those leagues and go, oh, well, we know who's winning this one. So I love the diversity that it gave us.
I enjoyed the general having to have a general skill set and not just like when I first went into it, I didn't like the 3-car thing because I liked the idea of having it be a series, and when you run the same car the whole series, and it makes it feel like, I don't know, like NASCAR. But I like the general skill set, and I had a lot more fun changing cars and tracks every week and having to figure out something new every time, and knowing that everyone else was kind of in the same boat as me. I did enjoy that, and I had a lot of fun.
You know what was most interesting about that this year is you don't know. We did the Tuesday night race, practice, and Tuesday night practice is very hit and miss on attendance. You have your regulars who make it, but it's so funny to hear the regulars that are there just say, F this, F that, F this, F that, this, that, this, just flipping all over themselves. And then they go win the race. And you just kind of, your head turns like your dog looking at you, And it happened to more than Sean is the perfect example of that.
I wonder
There's
who
no doubt
Bill's
about
talking
that.
about.
Yeah. But it's not
Sean
just
is
Sean.
the perfect example of that.
No, it's not just Sean, though. You don't know how many times Jackson Knapp would sit there and say, I can't turn, I can't do
That's
this.
because
I
he
can't
wears
do
that Denny
Next thing you know,
Hamlin
he's
hat.
around top 5.
He takes the number from that.
Yeah, I was never really great in those practice sessions, but I figured it out usually later in the run sometimes. So, yeah.
I always thought that contrary to that, you have me complaining with the car, and then I go.
Did
and
anybody in
15th.
the Discord have a question in regards to what we just went over?
I have a question.
Yes.
This is for Patrick, actually. I was just curious about the viewership numbers for our races, maybe compared to other series or just throughout since you took over broadcasting, how we've been doing as far as that goes.
It's actually been growing the farther and farther we go. The more drivers you guys seem to start collecting, the new drivers that are showing up as well, we are starting to get a little more contact out there with new people. I average, I believe, somewhere around 200 per race. So there are a lot of eyeballs out there, and not just you guys. Normally I can see you guys load up. Maybe about 20 of those will be you guys who tune in the broadcast to maybe get a sneak peek at how somebody else's pit strategy is doing. But, it gives it guys another opportunity to reach out there and find different ways. I've been using hashtags. So now if somebody looks up the Indianapolis race, we can try to snag them from there, and they'll reach over and pull over and be able to see some of the races. I will say some of the unfamiliar ones is when we do get to a road course or something like that. Somebody watches Sonoma, it's going to be a little light that night, because not only am I short drivers, but I'm short viewership as well, because sometimes people see that the road courses take a little longer than normal, and we kind of fumble on the numbers there a little bit. But other than that, really, as this season has been growing and we are still in the I would say almost a rebuilding process, the numbers are picking up pace, but it's not where I would like it to be.
Now
Bill,
I have a question. As far as like your viewership and everything like that. So like, are you seeing any viewership from drivers from other leagues that you broadcast in, and then has that possibly spiked their interest in this league, possibly going forward?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've
we
got
have
other
people
guys
that-
poking their way over here. I mean, heck, you even see Jay's in here. He's from another league, and I think you've even I'm sure you're about to get Douglas Ross here in a little bit. He'll be another driver who's thinking about popping over this way. But they slowly trickle in because don't get me wrong, I've raced in leagues with like you guys, and the first thing you do is if you start getting kind of bored or hey, I'd like to try something different, the first thing that you do is, all right, man, well, let's see where the broadcaster's going and see how those races are, because it gives you that opportunity to take a peek into the league without actually being in the league and then finding out for yourself it's horrible. So these guys are able to look over, but if we have a caution-filled race and it's 18 cautions, the first thing they're doing is marking an X on that one, going, nope, move on, and they move on to the next broadcast company, or or move on from there. But when you guys race caution-free at Rockingham, where it's extremely bumpy on a truck that can lose the rear end in a heartbeat, and you guys go caution-free, we get people pinging all the time. I got people hammering me in the messages on Facebook asking, hey, how can I join this? And I just steer them toward you. But I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make him drink, you know what I mean? But we have a lot of guys that have a lot of interest in what you guys do. I think, like I said, I'm very strongly agree with staying with a 3-car difference. And I think the car choice this time might actually spread it apart. Next gen is the wave of the future. I know a lot of people hate the next gens, but it's what puts people are in the new stuff. I don't know why. Trust me, I'd like to be in the 87s, the Gen 4s, and Xfinities and just be done. You know what I mean? And stick to the old school stuff. But everyone likes that sequential shifter stuff, and it's just, I don't know, man. To me, it makes me want to pound my head on the desk, but that's what puts eyeballs on the screen.
I think with the pick of all the cars that we decided on, I mean, I'm not a fan of the next gen. I haven't liked it before. It just gets a little too tight off exit and stuff. But it was between, like, you got the 87, that's super difficult. You got the Xfinity, which probably, as far as NASCAR is concerned, is probably the best car on iRacing. And then you got the next gen, which is a whole new ball game, totally different type of handling. I think it's going to make for a good season.
Yeah, big time.
And to answer Dawson's question even to more extent, the Zero car, Jesse, he came directly from your broadcast. There was multiple people who said, how do I join? And I had them join during the race even. The DVR guys are a result of your broadcast.
That's what I was kind of questioning, is whether
I could say 7 to 10
I didn't know
people
where they came from.
Here. Yeah, 7 to 10 people that were here this year were a direct result of Patrick's broadcast.
That's awesome.
And Stella's awesome side job that she does. So I gotta be careful what I say.
Yes, sir.
Stella gonna get me. We don't want another knee accident by any means. So here's what I'll tell you guys too. I support any league that SimTraX broadcasts. I go into their races. If I realize they're on, I go into their races, into their chat, and I talk. Because I don't compete against other leagues. I don't compete against a single league in iRacing. I could care less what they do, how they do it. I can work with them. No problem. The leagues that are under his tent should be working together. They should be working together. It will just promote the whole product for everybody. So it's something I'd like to work on with Patrick too in the near future of getting more, maybe even putting the league owners together for a discussion. So support the other leagues. And also, what's most important is, and I know a lot of you don't do this, a lot of you don't watch the broadcast. That's a no-no. It's here for you. It's not here for me. It's here for you. Watch that broadcast. Show your friends and family what you do.
Also, like the broadcast.
I think every time after the races, I always go back and watch the broadcast to see just how it was and how good the racing was. I always enjoy it. I really like the energy of the broadcasters, and it's fun to go watch. It really is.
Hey, Bill and Pat, I got one thing I wanted to say before I forget about it. And years ago, when I raced in some other leagues with a different broadcaster, he did this kind of all-star race where he would take like top 5 of all the leagues that he broadcast, and we would do kind of like an all-star race at some point. And those are actually really fun races. And I don't know if that's something you're interested in, Patrick. But that might be
I actually started putting something like that together, but then the bottom kind of fell out. I assure you, dude. I'm telling you, it was actually going to be 3 people, and I was trying to figure out how not to make it a super speedway race, so a race everybody would like, and then trying to figure out what car, and then trying to get everybody to group together. And I was even putting money on the line. I think it was like $150 to the winner. And like I said, the bottom fell out of it. I think it's just kind of like a fighter. You need a manager, right?
Yeah. Well, let's look into it. I mean, let's make it like
Nick, if you remember, when Moose was broadcasting.
That's right. That's the last one I was thinking of, actually.
Yes. Broadcasting for us, broadcasting for Carl. All-Star?
A couple others.
Was he doing for, the shyster with the tattoos?
Yeah.
Yes.
And we were supposed to do an All-Star thing. Yes. We're not going to say his name. I'm not opposed to that, but we just haven't had the right circumstances fall in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I would like to work with the other leagues also that are within the broadcast tent and make something like that happen, because our last All-Star race, what a disaster. Our league All-Star race was hideous. In street stocks at Lakeland that everybody had to start on in iRacing, we couldn't get a lap in. It was bad.
So, Patrick, there was one time I did like kind of a special event where like they had multiple leagues, and obviously I know you don't broadcast just oval racing, but you also do some road course racing as well. So you can do something that's like take a top 5 of all the best oval racers, and you'll race an oval race, and then your best road course racers will race like a road course race or rallycross or whatever it may be. That might be something a little beneficial. Then trying to group everybody together and find out what's the best car and track combo for everybody.
Right.
Just make it kind of like a tournament series kind of thing.
And
that'd be kind of fun.
Figure you'd give bragging rights to the league that wins,
Yeah. So, that'd be definitely something to look into.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely looking at it. And Dawson, my God, you can't come up with $100 there, brother. Sorry, he's having some trouble in the chat.
I had to.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Mama Goose, can you?
My pressure washing business needs to take off.
Why don't we have Stella here keeping us updated on that? Chat going on today.
Oh, I don't know. I think she's probably out there. I'm sure. I see her out there.
She is.
She's in the chat.
So let's move on to some notes that I have, so we can get to season 13 here before too long. So, in review of season 12, first and foremost, congratulations to Nick on your 3-time championship. Deserved. Couldn't ask for a better situation. Congratulations to Zero Foxtrot Motorsports. You knocked GFR off the pedestal. You are the winning team this year for the team championship. Great job, guys. Congratulations to Mason on Most Improved. Well deserved. Yes, Mason's had a few rough races here and there, but come on, guys. He drives dragsters most of the time. He doesn't really know what he's supposed to be turning, but he's out turning a lot of you now. So he's gotten much better. He deserves Most Improved. The honorable mention to the Most Improved is Connor Gibson. Had Connor made it to the last round and not Mason, Connor would have had that award. Because Connor has definitely stepped up his game this year. Connor does get one award. The most annoying, most cluttered, disgusting bedroom I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, clean that crap up there, Connor.
Instead of a Black award,
Look at that room.
When you talk about somebody that can annoy you,
how does he move?
It was terrible.
Oh my god!
But
we
love
get him a
him.
broom
He's
and
a good
dustpan
time.
for an award.
Canadians.
Those Canadians, what are you going to do with them?
He wins Canadian championships. It's a whole different league.
Yeah.
Buy him a stick of deodorant.
I have 5 of them sitting right beside me.
I love having Connor here. You should try using them with a toothbrush. What I'm giving you guys there, this little banter that you hear too, is how we banter back and forth in Discord with a lot more.
I was going to say, I got a story about Connor in a different league, and it was the last lap of Next Gens at Michigan, and it was me and another guy. We were coming up out of the corner. We ended up making a little bit of contact hitting the wall, and Connor shot the middle and took the win from us. I have never heard anybody scream so loud in my entire life, but also I don't think his mom had either because she went and shut the internet off.
Oh.
And I was 20 at the time, not like 12.
I heard about that.
So I didn't even get to do burnouts. It was very sad.
He acts like he's 12 all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Look at that mutton
so
chop.
I'm gonna continue on here.
I don't even have my camera on. What are you looking at?
Talk about Jay.
Oh.
I want to absolutely personally thank Della and Patrick on the absolute stand-up job you guys did this year. Absolutely. I miss Marshall broadcasting because we spent so much time with Marshall. And I'm not trying to replace Marshall, never would. Patrick and Stella, they have their niche, and I love what they do. I love what's going on with the broadcast. I have never once watched a broadcast and had a complaint.
Excellent.
That's it.
So I left them speechless at Kansas, though. That was the best part.
You left everyone at Kansas speechless.
That's true.
You left John feel like he just got robbed.
One of the areas that you guys
It's
don't
too
seem
soon,
to-
y'all. It's all too soon.
Okay, so one of the areas that you guys don't seem to appreciate or understand, we have a very rare occurrence in this league. Very rare. We have 2 race controls who donate their time. They are not paid. They won't take pay from me. I've asked them to pay. Hell, Nicole sponsors races. Who the hell can tell me they have a race controller that's putting money into a league? We have that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Most leagues that I end up broadcasting don't have a race control at all. So you guys having 2, them not taking pay and sponsoring races. I mean, honestly, I'm not trying to be real harsh, but you guys have 2. I mean, it's a struggle to find guys that are just 1, and everybody wants an answer within a matter of 2 caution laps, whether somebody's getting a drive-through, and the 2 of them have to get together and kind of fix it. I mean, I don't know how they do it. I think Jay sent me a picture of what race control looks like. He tried to do it in a different league, and absolutely
it's
not.
hard.
Absolutely not. That's where I'll draw the line.
All the buttons.
I have tried it. I did some in Tony Hillbrand's, and I had to quit because I sucked at it. Point blank sucked at it. And 2 seasons ago, Nicole stepped up and said, "Hey, I want to do this." And yes, let's do it. And then Bradley came into the picture. And those 2 have improved leaps and bounds, and they're just getting better. This is the first season that I think I can honestly tell you that I did not actively involve myself in any decisions. I did not tell them they could not make that decision. I did not say we shouldn't make it. It was their races to control. And that's important as a league owner. League owners should not be affecting the outcome of the races. Hence why I run in the back. And then when I go and I do run up front and you SOBs take me out, Jason Greenwell, I tend to get a little pissy because I only race once a year hard. And I get wrecked every time in it.
And then you got penalized by
every time.
The spotter said clear, clear, clear. I'm gonna go with
clear.
that. Not very
we're
clear.
good now.
We're a little clear.
We're good now. We weren't good then. So understand what you have here with race control, and understand working with them helps. So with that being said, I can't thank you guys enough. There's nothing I can do to tell you how appreciative I am of what Bradley and Nicole, what you do for us. And thank you very much for that.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Yep. You even answer questions during the broadcast or during the race. Hey, what in the heck is going on out there? You guys can definitely narrow it down. Of course, I send Stella out, the old ball and chain, and let her deal with it.
I would like to remind.
Go ahead.
So there's been quite a few times, especially even like this last race, where they race control would call out EOL for a specific car, and I'd be sitting there like, what? That's ridiculous. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And then like afterwards, I watch replay and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that was definitely the right call. So sometimes in the heat of the moment during these races, like your perception of certain incidences are a little skewed. But I think race control has done a pretty dang good job so far this season. Maybe a couple calls there, maybe a little questionable, but it's been pretty spot on for the most part. It's definitely a hard job. I mean, I wouldn't do it. Absolutely not.
Oh yeah, I can tell you as the owner, I'll hear a call and I'll go, huh?
Yeah.
And then when they show it, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So, so let me finish this section off here. I am thankful to every single driver, whether you like me, don't like me, can't stand X, Y, or Z in our league. I don't really care. I love the fact that you showed up, you decided to run with us, and you made us better. One way or another, you made us better. I am appreciative of every single person that takes 5 minutes of their time to sit down on their butt in their rig or at their desk or TV tray, whatever they're racing on, and comes in here and runs with us. I can't stress that enough. And I can never explain to you guys what that means to have people want to come and be part of what we're producing here. All of us. So I'm thankful for that. So we're going to move on to 13. Oh, wait a minute. I got to back up a little bit. So what I would like to say about season 12 in my words. Interesting. Why was it interesting? When you think about season 11, I was in tears as I'm telling Marshall I have to be done. Had a lot of personal things going on in my life, a lot of projects going on in my life that needed to be fixed, a house down the road that I was trying to take care of. And the guys in this league more or less begged me to reopen the league and race again. And we did. Because we're a group, we did that. Then we struggle with the broadcaster getting one. We get one. He drops us like a redheaded stepchild, which I was, by the way. And then we pick up another guy who he made an effort. It just didn't work. We got to where we are today. So those challenges at the beginning were enough for me to sit here and pound my head on the wall going, why are you doing this? But I know why I'm doing it. So it was the most challenging season of all of our seasons. And what you didn't hear from me this year was that I was done. You guys have heard that from me for the last couple of years. You didn't hear that this year. I am happy with the overall product that we produced this year. Remember when I say product, guys, I'm talking about all of us. The whole scenario. Trying to read my notes here. Give me 1 second.
Can I just add one quick thing?
Yeah, go ahead, because I have to make sense of my note here.
My biggest takeaway from that whole statement you just said is that your hair used to be a color other than white.
Is what?
That your hair was a color other than like white or gray.
Connor.
At least his hair is white, not like your teeth.
Connor,
Oh, I
you
know what's
need
gonna
to
happen.
think before you say. Don't let them intrusive thoughts come out.
So, I literally had fire red hair most of my life.
And then you started the league, and it made the hair.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Started
Talladega.
We're gonna need to see photos of that.
This is iRacing. This is iRacing. I've shown you photos of that before. This is iRacing vinyl wrap for the head.
We used to see that fire red hair before Connor Gibson joins.
Yeah.
No
Are the
doubt.
pictures of the red hair as good as Curtis Yancey looking
My
like
mom's
Farva
hair
from
wasn't
Super
always
Troopers?
No.
white either.
Probably not.
Farva.
All right, so let's go into 13. So obviously, you guys all know this, but for the viewers and for people who may watch this at a later time, SimTraX is returning. That is situated.
W.
Woo!
We're
Get
done
some.
with that. Bradley and
Yeah.
Joe are returning. Kevin's company, Perfect Shine Auto, is returning. So, and I'm working with FMR again to try to turn that back around. One thing I'm doing for season 13, and I feel I need to do this more as a change of blood. I am dropping all the current admins, not because you did anything wrong, simply because I want to refresh. So if you're a current admin and you want to stay an admin, just PM me. We will talk and decide if you want to stay or go. With that said, that opens up other positions for newer guys or people who have never been in an admin position to also put in for a spot. So if you'd like to be an admin, PM me and we will talk about that. So what does an admin do? What does an admin do? So admins are more or less my method of going and consulting with people and saying, okay, how are we going to do this? Should we do it this way? Should we do it that way? But on race day, you are a racer. You're not an admin, but you're held to a little slightly different standard because people know you're a race admin. They know you're an admin of the league. So you can't go out there and Dawson Guzik, Ben on the last lap to protect your brother because that looks bad on the league. So as an admin, you do have to think about things a little bit before you just do things. You just can't go and be a fool. If you're involved in an incident, you're not allowed to be part of the conversation with race control, the other admins, if there's a decision made that affects you. So your involvement is the behind the scenes stuff, talking about race schedules, talking about the cars, possible things of the weather, going and testing a track for us, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and being involved in the day-to-day questions I may have. So that is what an admin does here. I relied on the admins a lot less this year than I had in the past. Just because of how things were going. I made some mistakes in season 12. Point Blank made some mistakes. Because of how things were so far off at the beginning of the year, there was mistakes made. And that's when I allowed past champions with a win. Remember, it was with a win. They weren't a past champion that showed up and, hey, you're in. So I made those mistakes. Those mistakes won't be repeated in 13. There will be a set number of races you must participate in. That answer is not sitting here right now. I don't have that answer for you today because if I say it's 90%, we may not have 12 drivers that make it. And I'm not locked in on doing a playoff format yet. I'm not saying we won't, but I can't tell you that we're locked in on that. So going into 13, those mistakes will be corrected. We learn from our mistakes. We fix our mistakes, we move on, and we try not to do them again. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes all the time, but I get to claim 59 years of age. Way younger, you don't get to claim that. I do. So, obviously, 13 will be the 87s. The Xfinity, it's because it's the staple, in my opinion, in many people's opinion, it is the staple NASCAR car in iRacing. There's an argument that the Gen 4, the Gen 6 may not. But overall, when you look at the amount of people, if you go into SimHub, which I highly encourage you guys to use our website. Our website doesn't even get the traffic to justify paying for it. But our website gets you to SimHub and gets you to all the stats you want to know, including stats outside of the league. You want to know how many races are scheduled for Daytona in a week? You go to SimHub, type in Daytona, and you'll see how many races in leagues, et cetera, are scheduled for Daytona. You'll see how many races have been run through the history of iRacing at Daytona. So it is a crap ton of statistics. So use that. So I can't sit here and give you a true number on what that percentage is going to be for us to run and be qualified for the next round. So I kind of jumped tracks there. The Xfinity car is the busiest car in iRacing as far as the overall car goes. That's why I left that in the middle as a staple, because it's most likely to get you people to come into the league. I'm going to step back one more step slightly for a second too, and tell you that there are people that were missed this year. You know, they had personal reasons, whatever. They were missed. Cody was missed. Greatly missed. Cody's viewers were missed. They were fun in the viewership. Ricky Hart has been missed. You know, the races he hasn't made. Brandon Jackson, who's just a crap ton of energy, has been missed. Curtis Yancey. Curtis and Brandon's rivalry, but however you say that, is awesome. It is so much fun, and it's a big part of our league. And there's more that I can name, but those specific people are part of the core of the league. So we've missed those people. I've missed those people. I don't know if y'all did, but I have missed those people. So I wanted to give that shout out, and I forgot to do that. So back to 13 again. Going this way, going that way, coming back. Back to 13. I want you guys to PM me an idea of the schedule you would like to see for the divisions. We've done that in the past, but we did it in kind of like a voting format, and that got personal at times. I don't want it personal. So just PM me where you would like to go with the 87s, where you would like to go with the Xfinities, where you would like to go with the next gen. When it comes to the next gen,
Sonoma.
Yeah. When it comes to the next gens, I can't tell you nothing about them. I tried to go run in Ben's league with them, and I couldn't do it. So I have not given them any time. But it was time to bring them to the league. Like Patrick said early on, it is the future, whether us old farts like it or not. It is the future, so we have to get used to them.
The future is now, old man.
No, I'm personally excited that you're bringing the next gen in. I'm pumped about it.
Me too.
Yeah.
So, I got a question. When it comes to the schedule, can we, like, is it just we can DM you like what our ideal schedule is, or is it Just what we want to protect. Okay.
There are 22 races. Fill out a schedule. We'll have 22 races, equally divided between the 3 cars.
So, Bill, for the next gen cars, we're going to definitely want to do some testing for each track that we like initially decide to pick, because when we ran that car in Ben's league, there was like, 1 week the car would just be hooked up and it was feeling great, and then like the next week it would just be awfully loose, and we just dealt with it and it still worked, but it was very stressful driving like a super loose race car. I think one that comes to mind was at Iowa. I don't know if you can remember any more, Ben, but some of those setups were just awful.
Yeah,
and I don't think.
Yeah, a lot of that has to do with the independent rear suspension and how stiff the car is. But there are definitely ways in the session that you can minimize how loose they get based on track conditions, whether it's cloudy. We race in the morning instead of the the late evening. Especially for the tracks that don't have lights. And then keep it overcast so the track temp just doesn't get up to like 120, 130. So there's definitely a lot of ways that you can minimize how loose they get by just changing the track conditions.
Right. And the other thing too is just with Iowa, it was stupid loose, but also like
very fun.
It's fun, but it does take some. That's why I say next gens do take some skill to drive. Some people argue with me on that, but it's because of that right there. It's the same thing. Like if you're driving the Gen 4 car, if you're going to go with the 87s, those cars just have some power, and so that's what the gearing does with the next gen is it gives you that type of wheel spin off the corner. So if you're not careful with it, in a situation like Iowa where it was wicked loose and you had a lot more power than probably the track needed, then it would do that to you, and you have to kind of play with it that way. So those are just
and another
kind
another fun thing it introduces is shifting.
Yeah.
Because there's some tracks where sometimes you can stay in fifth and some guys can shift, and you might save tires, they might burn theirs off, but other tracks you have to shift. And so I personally love the next gen for that, just because it just adds another element. Having the sequential, so it's a lot of fun. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, this season's going to be interesting because what we had in season 12, we had like a kind of like a skill gap between 3 cars, and like this season, it's like even wider between the 87s and next gen. So it's interesting.
So you have like the the more modern sequential shifter where it's just forward back. And then you have an Xfinity where you can kind of blip shift, and then you have 87s where you got a heel toe. Like there's three different styles of shifting. And that you take the 87s to the next gen, like the next gen's like night and day as far as the shifting part of it. You know what I mean? But it was, and then you go to 87s, and you're just like.
There's going to be some
people don't even
misshifts.
know what a heel toe is.
There's definitely going to be some misshifts on the restarts in the 87s.
Restarts, yeah. I was going to say that's every caution. Some guy misses the gear, and that's it.
Yeah.
If you thought you were bad, before this season, you are definitely going to improve this next season. It is going to. You are going to be better.
Yeah, no matter what. Yeah, because of how much and how wide this is going to be. So yeah, like I said, I don't know about you guys, but I'm more stoked for the upcoming season than I was about this season.
Yeah.
Let me add this in too. Also, when you're filling out your schedules, remember that I promised you there would be one dirt race and one only. Pick your car. Pick your track.
Not 87s.
Hey, Bill, can I go ahead and get a provisional for that one?
No, it doesn't work with 87s.
Oh no, you're telling me I have to learn how to drive on dirt? Dang it!
There's not a single person in here that absolutely despises dirt more than this guy.
I thought next gen at Bristol was actually pretty fun.
I hate it.
Not for Bill. Not fun for Bill.
Thank you so much.
Listen, you can put me in one of those cars that you tie a string in the center of the racetrack, and I just go around 200 miles an hour, and I wouldn't like it either. In dirt. Dirt's not for this guy. I hate dirt. But I know you guys like it, so I will put one race back in this year.
Yippee.
And it gives diversity. So dirt returns. And David Leakey, feel free to sponsor that race for the Bill Harkins Hates Dirt 100. That was the title of the race. So feel free.
There's something I want to touch on, Bill, if you can.
Yeah, go ahead, Dawson.
So this kind of just goes back to the whole broad spectrum of the league, not just season 12 and 13 or whatever. But like, so basically, like when I got to join the league, we basically were just hanging out, watching the Chili Bowl together and just all chatting. I didn't even know any of these guys other than Brett. Then I decided, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to build a rig. And I'll tell you what, this league, as far as the group of guys that we have, is unmatched. I mean, we have like almost 30 guys in here that are like basically, I would say, pretty close to being brothers. You know what I mean? We hate each other sometimes. I mean, obviously, racing gets a little too close at times, but it was that most of the time we could just sit there and BS about it and be cool about it. So I think that's one thing about our league that is very, very good, is the camaraderie of the guys. Hopefully, some of these newer guys that have come in, we don't really see them in here that too much in the Discord, but hopefully, that'll change later on, and kind of grow the Bandit family a little bit. So.
To add to that, Ethan, I think, is probably one of the newer guys that hangs out in the Discord regularly, and I think he can vouch that we don't bite.
Exactly. Yep.
No. Y'all have been very good to me.
It took Connor like 2 seasons to finally show up in the Discord. So.
Who, me?
Oh, I'm sorry, Curtis is what I meant to
Curtis.
say.
Oh,
sorry.
Curtis.
Dude, we didn't even know what Curtis looked like until like what 6 months ago.
Honestly, regret being because now we all have a different image of him.
He's far above some Super Troopers, for sure.
Officer Doofy.
Yep.
I don't going into 13. I don't see a lot of rule changes either. I don't see the need. We really haven't had anything that's been sticking in our crawl, creating a problem. So I really don't see a need to really do much as far as.
I have one thing to add.
Agreed.
Is a possible suggestion. So I know there was talk about like the staying to the right of pit road thing, but as it stands now, there is no penalty for per se cutting through boxes, correct? For like causing an incident on pit road, I believe there is, but I don't think there's one for actually like.
I'm gonna let race control handle that. I'm gonna let race control say what they want to do with it.
I think having an incident on pit road is enough of a penalty.
I definitely got yelled at for not staying to the right.
Well, you stay to the right, you won't get in trouble. But if you are on the left and you cause that incident, you are going to get penalized for it. Other than that, all we're going to do is kind of watch you because you should stay to the right.
I've already got enough issues.
Yeah, I think regardless of whether the person in front, if the person in front is on the right and going slow, and the person on the left gets into them, no matter what, even if it's the person on the right coming across them, I mean, I think that should be a penalty.
Well, and that's in the rule. The rule clearly states that if you are passing somebody because they're not maintaining speed, obviously. If you are in an incident, though, that incident gets awarded to you. You're the guy on the left that shouldn't be on the left. So there is a rule in regards to that. And I will leave it up to both Nicole and Bradley to institute something. If they see, because there are tracks that if you run the inside of pit road, you're gaining footage. You know, it's a much shorter circle than a guy out here running the top of the wall, and especially under caution. So obviously, race control's discretion. Race control can issue a penalty. Just because it doesn't say it in the rule book doesn't mean they can't do it. Remember, rules are subject to change at any time. So it could be instituted. Will we put something in there in regards to, yeah, I'll put something in there in regards to that. So when you come to me and say, it doesn't say it in the rules, I'll say, disclaimer.
Or watch this and then
Check
copy
again.
paste.
Yeah. Yeah.
Check again, bozo.
Thanks for helping.
Those are common sense things. You know, the most complaints that I hear is some of the passing that goes on pit road. And then I hear, well, that guy jumped to start because of X, Y, and Z. But then you go back and you watch the replay, and the guy ahead of him is doing 6 miles an hour slower than the guy behind him is. And do you want him to just ram you straight in the ass? Give you instant potential. Hey, I can say that word. Potential.
Right in the donkey.
Damage that you're going to have to use a fast repair on. Or if you haven't checked on, you're going to lose it because it's going to repair. So those are the things that are difficult to really say in concrete. Your tire tracks better not go outside of the guy's tire tracks in front of you. We're not playing that game. In real life, if I come up on a car and that SOB is doing 6 to 10 miles an hour slower than me on a restart, I'm going to pass him to the right. I'm not going to pass him to the left, but I'm going to pass him to the right. I'm not going to pass him full length, car length past the start finish line. I will not be completely past him at the start finish line, but I will be up there. And I will know that going into the corner, I'll have the speed to pass him. So that I would never penalize because that is just common 101 racing, really, when it comes right down to it. But that's the most complaint that is heard. Am I correct on that, Nicole and Brad?
Yes, you are correct on
that. Yeah. And it's usually the person who was going slower because he didn't get a good start or he flipped himself, coming to the start, whatever. It's so those type of things, that's just racing. The obvious, passing to the left, 6 cars deeper than everybody else, that makes sense. That's just, you're going to get a penalty. So rules will pretty much stay intact. I'll go back through them, obviously, and fine tune something if it needs to be.
With the new admin team?
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. That way you got fresh ideas.
Yes. So reiterating once again, if you want to be an admin, please send me a PM and we'll sit down and we'll talk and see if we can get you more involved in the league. Last thing I have, and I'm basically getting on my knees and asking you guys to do this. Visit the website. It's there. I work hard to keep it up to date. I was behind this week. I have an automation project going on at work that I am swamped with. We had tech guys in from Germany this week, and I was lucky to get out of there before 6 o'clock tonight even. So it's been a bad week for me to really update. But if you don't want to be an admin and you have the ability to create graphics or want to update websites, I could use help. You don't even have to kick in financially. We talked about people helping and money being a part of it. It doesn't have to be money. If I had to count the amount of time that I sit down to do stuff, oh my God, and put a dollar figure on it, we'd be so upside down, y'all be thinking I'm, 3 bricks short of a chimney to even be doing this stuff. So step up, help out in the areas that are there, the options that are there. the merch site. The last thing I want to say about that, I am looking at moving the merch site to Amazon. And the reason being, you have to send an application in for that first and foremost. So that's not a given. But every single penny that league or that merch site generates goes 100% back into this league. I have never ever taken it, put it. I have two separate PayPals. I have my personal PayPal and I have the BHARC 2411. BHARC 2411 is the Bandit PayPal. That money goes into that, and all the money that comes out, the broadcast costs, the races, all that comes into that. So the merch, I will tell you this. Spring has been doing a terrible job of getting stuff out this year. The quality of spring stuff went down. Many of you guys in here that have bought shirts, after 4 or 5 washings, have noticed that, they're deteriorating. I can tell you that I still have some GFR shirts. I still have a Kevin Foster before GFR shirt. I still have some of Brett's stuff that's not worn out. It has to be washed properly. That's part of the problem. You can wash it in cold water, but don't put it in a dryer. That you put it in a dryer, it's done. This shirt that I'm wearing now, the new shirt with the brand new season 13 on the back. If I can flip it there a little bit, we'll get around my fat butt here. That's a different type of decal. That is, I don't know the exact name, but that's thick. It feels like a much heavier print. So I believe the quality has gone better, but if I use Amazon, it'll be using a different printing. And the reason I'm looking at Amazon too is it will get so many more hundreds of thousands of eyes on it. And people who don't even race in the league or know anything about the league, they may just like a logo or shirt design and they'll buy it.
That's exactly what I was
you guys
just
will get
thinking.
the benefit of that.
There's people all the time that wear like racing shirts, like Jeff Gordon shirts and Dale Earnhardt shirts that know nothing about racing.
Yeah, teenagers love racing shirts, even if they have no idea who is on the shirt or why there's a race car. They just think, that's a cool race car shirt, I'll buy it.
Like if I didn't know anything about racing and I saw Jackson Knock on a shirt, I'd buy that.
I can't
NASCAR
tell you.
opinion just taken off.
Oh no.
And in this season, I didn't have I have to correct myself. I had one person reach out and ask me to do some custom stuff, and I did not get it done. Kevin, I apologize. I did not update GFR stuff this year. That's on me. But I didn't have anybody else. Not a single person said, hey, can you make this? Or give me a graphic that they wanted to add to something. That didn't happen before. I've never had that happen. We've always had people who wanted something done. So there are stickers on the merch site, actually, Jay. So keep that in mind. Even if you don't buy something, could you at least go and visit it and click on something so I see traffic? I'd be even less agitated if I see 25 people have went to it than seeing 3 people went to it. Because it's my time to produce that.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any stickers on here.
Right now, the site has... Okay, so the site... Kevin pointed this out to me yesterday. Somehow my dumbass accidentally archived a bunch of stuff in there.
Oh,
So the only thing available right now is the 13 BRL stuff, and I think
SimTraX
AD
shirt.
stuff. Or SimTraX. Yes, SimTraX. So see, Patrick, I was thinking of you.
Yeah.
So, get involved in that stuff. Get involved in wanting to help out because I can use the help in other areas. And I'm going to give you guys an update on my personal life. And then we're going to open this up to whatever you guys want because we're rolling on.
Can I just add one super quick thing? What is the cost difference in using Amazon versus what you're currently using?
I don't have the exact dollar figure on that.
Okay.
It's something I honestly just started looking at over the weekend.
Also, another reason to go to the website, it's just really cool. The same reason why the broadcast is, put on. You want to give the drivers, make them feel the same way that, you did, stuff like that. And the website is a big part of that. Obviously, all the real life racing series have these really nice websites, and the Bandit Racing League website is beautiful. I get to go to the front page and I get to see, my car in the background on the top, top photo. It tells you all sorts of information, most recent winner, championship winner, all sorts of stuff. And it's just really cool to scroll through it every now and then and see what's up there, as well as at the bottom of the page, merch popping up. And then you can go to drivers and look at stats and all sorts of cool stuff like that. So absolutely no reason to not go on there.
SimTraX Broadcast on there also.
That too.
If you don't know where it's at, click there. Boom, you're there.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Go ahead.
I was gonna add to Jackson's. I was gonna be like, yeah, you get to go on the website and see your own profile. I've never had that happen, so
Yeah, I did take away some of the profiles this year simply and put the teams in there because we were getting so much more team involvement this year than what we had in the past. I got to go into a little bit of my personal life, just so you guys are aware that there could be some snags here and there. I don't want to get emotional, so let me take a drink. And I haven't talked to much about this. My father-in-law, who I love more than my own father, he has recently been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and he is struggling with it. My mother-in-law, I believe, is following that. So I'm about to have a mother and father-in-law who are having troubles. They are the ones who I was working on that house down the road for, trying to get that house sold, and we finally got that out of the way and thought that life would change a little bit for them because the stress would be off of their, life. But unfortunately, Alzheimer's decided to come in and join the party. So it's been a struggle trying to help them out. I've had to put trackers on the vehicle. I've had to put trackers on his wallets, his phone, just trying to keep him, in a box. On my own side of things. And I'm not trying to make this a down thing, but you guys know I'm upfront and I'm forward and I'm honest with you guys. I'm going for surgery Friday. I'm going to have some throat surgery done. This is all related to the 6 days I spent in the hospital earlier this year and why I struggle sometimes when you see me choking and stuff like that. So I'm going to have that surgery done. It's not a major surgery. I'm not getting anything cut. I'm getting a balloon shoved down there, and then I'm getting Botox in my throat. So, y'all get your mind out of the gutter.
Easy, gentlemen.
So
you want to look like Pamela? You want to look like Pamela Anderson?
I know where the mind went. Okay. So, if this procedure doesn't go good, then I have to do a much more evasive procedure where they're going to have to go in and cut muscles and all this other stuff. So I've got some things going on. That's why I do need people to kind of help step up and do some things, because I can't do it all the time and keep it on. I hate leagues or any other type of broadcasted thing that has a website and you go on and you look at it and their website is March of 2017. It drives me nuts that I didn't get Nick's stuff up there until Monday. I usually want to have that stuff in right away, because I believe if you're going to have it, let it be updated. Who wants to go look at a website that's got Nick's picture from 5 years ago on? I don't. Especially if it's Dawson's picture. Keep that in mind when you're asking me where something is right now or why don't I have this done, because I've got that automation project going on. That automation that I'm doing at work is not being done anywhere else in the world. It is a very unique automation process, very technical, above what this guy's capable of even thinking of at times. I have my family situation. I have my own situation. When I told you guys I needed to quit to do this house, my kitchen nook in the back is still the way it was apart when I told you guys I needed to quit. So I'm busy. But I will give you my best. I will give you my all the time, because you guys deserve it. So I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time to talk or ask anything you want to talk or ask about.
Yeah, I figure we'll march down the list and try to give everybody a little bit of a chance, starting with Benjamin Lacey. Anything to chip in there, buddy? Any questions or comments?
I mean, the only thing for me is just, it's I love running this league. It's super fun, So yeah, Bill, when you said he was coming back, it brought me much joy. So this last season was hella fun with running the 3 different cars, and yeah, I'm looking forward to season 13. So yeah, I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Benjamin. And Brett Guzik, you're next, buddy. Uh-oh. Oh, he's muted in the Discord.
Yeah.
Fix it,
Sorry.
mister.
Oh, there he is. Yep.
There he is. Slow, slow potato is down.
Yeah. Just like to thank everybody who kind of makes this whole thing work, and I'm really looking forward to the car track combos that we can put together for the next season, as well as just revitalizing our merch store and whatever scenario that that takes on. So
Awesome, man. All right, no questions for Bill?
Nope, not really.
All right, Brett. Appreciate you, buddy. All right, Carter Phillips.
I don't have any questions. Just want to say this is my first season running this league, first league I've ever ran in. So shout out to Eddie for pestering me until I finally gave in and spent $500 some odd dollars just getting all this set up. But it's been a blast. It's been worth it for sure. And we were talking a while ago about how we're all kind of like gotten to be kind of brothers here. And I was talking to Eddie about this actually a few days ago. Like, I feel like there's a lot of community in this league. We all sit around and chat before the race, after the race, during the race sometimes. And I really appreciate that. It's a great atmosphere.
All right, Carter Phillips on number 30. Appreciate you, buddy. That moves us on to the dirty room, man. Let's go ahead and get Connor Gibson. I think everybody's taking a deep breath. Oh, here we go. All right, man, go on. The floor is yours.
Well, just a few quick words about Bill. We all appreciate him, and if he has to take time away for his family or whatever, that's more important than the league is. So we all are understanding of that if that has to happen. And I'm excited for the next season. Hopefully going to step my game up, and I just need to get a brother that's going to wreck somebody to help me get in the championship 4. That's the only thing I'm missing. I don't know.
Damn, shots fired.
I know. You, buddy.
Thank God that thank God Ben left.
Yeah, that's about it.
Well, my statement about that is he was going to wreck either way. So
yeah, okay,
probably.
David Lakey, finally retired, man. But go ahead and give me your questions, comments. What you got for the league?
I really don't have any questions. Bill pretty much explains everything pretty well. I just want to say thanks to Bill for keeping the league together, doing another season, keeping all these misfits together, giving my Wednesday therapeutic, stress-free sessions that I need. It was horrible for a while when we didn't have it. I'm so happy it's here and it's going to continue to go on, and I'm looking forward to next season.
All right, David Lakey, I'm sure all the viewers out there who watch you race, we're looking forward to seeing how well you can do this upcoming season. All right, the dreaded Dawson Guzik is next. Go ahead and give me what you got, buddy.
Oh, I don't really have any questions per se, but what's it called? I just got to thank Bill for everything that he does with this league. very much appreciated. You know, it kind of gives us a home to sit here and BS and do some hard racing. Obviously, racing got a little bit too close in at Rockingham. Just gotta give a little love to my boy Ben.
Well, we give
Hats
that
off to
partial
him.
credit to the adult wobble pops, correct?
Not that race, not that race. But I do got to give a shout out to my one I would hope to be a sponsor, Yingling. I love them Ying Daddies. But yeah, no, I just got to thank Bill for everything he does here, and hopefully get Brett Guzik that championship in season 13.
Wait, what did you call that?
They're called, Yinglings are called Ying Daddies or loggers.
Ying Daddies?
Yep.
Okay.
Can't get them in Arizona, buddy.
It's a PA thing.
I've
It's
seen
a
them
PA
around.
thing.
I've seen them around.
Yeah.
I'll bet you can get them out west.
When I lived in Colorado, it was a little tough. So, but yeah, no, thank you, Bill, for everything you do. Patrick, race control, all the admins and everything. So.
All right, man. Oh, man. Appreciate you, Dawson. That moves us on to Eddie Haggy in the 97 machine. Eddie, what you got for us, buddy? I know you got a little something.
Yeah, well, I want to echo what everybody says. And, it can't really be said enough about how special this group is and how grateful I am to be a part of it and the brotherhood I feel in this league. I think it's really key. But Bill talked about merch, and it made me kind of realize, like, another thing is that Bill doesn't always need to do all the designing. He's happy to teach you how to make your merch if you want to do something like that. He's done that for me. His hair is already pretty gray. It's like 98% gray. We don't want to make it 100. We want to make sure he stays around and stays healthy and stays with us. So, I love all you guys, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Wednesdays are my favorite day of the week during the season, and I just want to make sure, it goes on as long as it can. The few times the league has almost shut down, it's been like my whole world's ended. So I want to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, and come back for another championship, I'm sure. Eddie, appreciate you, buddy. And Ethan Sikorsky, that brings you up next, my man. All right. Yeah, somebody's got to have a question here. If something going on, or is there something you'd like to see the league do differently, or is it just the way you like it?
No, so far it's the way I like it. When I first came into iRacing, not even in February, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But ever since I joined this league, I've improved tremendously. Everyone has given me so much helpful advice on how to actually be a better racer, better driver, and I can't tell you how much this is kind of like living my dream out of being an actual race driver. And I can't thank Jackson for inviting me, and then, well, I'm always been kind of a shy guy, so I never really am the first person to make start talking, but it was Bill that reached out to me, and he said he basically really, really heavily implored that I should really race and be a part of it, and it's been awesome, and I really enjoyed it. I've made so many new friends, and I enjoy this. It's so much fun, and I can't wait for season 13.
All right, Ethan Sikorsky in the 94, buddy. Appreciate you chipping in there, man. I would obviously say, a lot of guys almost seem to feel the same way here so far. Hayden, Paul, what do you have to say?
So, first off, I just want to thank Bill for everything he's done. I think I joined this league about season 10. I was invited by my buddy David Leakey. He actually got me into sim racing, and it's just been a blast since joining this league. It's never really thought about sim racing until David started showing me all these videos and stuff like that, and it's just been a blast being in this league.
Hayden, what is it going to take to get you to get some solid top fives in this league, buddy? We got to do some rule changes.
When I start getting meatballs.
He's got to fix them monitors.
He's sponsored by Chef Boyardee next year.
Yes. You'll see that.
He needs to stop running into the pace car that has a number 11 on it.
That was one time, Bill.
It was
At
more
one
than once.
time.
He honestly thought that I was a pace car. And he was
You're a
gonna
white
drive
car. Pace car's white.
That's
like, oh my god. He's like, oh my god, did I just wreck you? I was like, yeah.
It's okay. I like sitting in pit road. Jeez.
Jason had the same problem at Talladega, I've heard.
That was like one of my first races.
It was good time.
Connor.
You heard his name.
All right, before we get carried away, let's get on to the leader of the Knocksters out there. Jackson Knock, talk to me about it, man. How's this league treating you?
It's been awesome. I joined this league a very long time ago, before my voice even dropped. I went from being a small child, and I was racing like only Roblox racing. And I went from that immediately to Bandit Racing League. This is the first ever racing league I was ever in. I joined almost like right after I got iRacing. I begged my parents for iRacing because I wanted to be in a league so bad, and this is the first one I joined, and it was probably the best league I honestly could have joined. I've been developing over the past few years and kind of growing up in this league and kind of being the driver who I am today based off of this league. And I owe this league a lot. I owe Bill a lot for getting me to where I am here. And, starting like real life racing, a lot like Mark, not at his level, but yeah, very appreciative of everyone in this league, everyone's brothers, as well as, glad I was able to be the one to invite Ethan. That's pretty cool. And that he's, around and enjoying it. So, and going to be here next season. So, yeah, that's about all I got.
If you guys are into Roadblocks, this is the cat to go follow in Roadblocks. He has his own racing in there, and if y'all have ever been in a practice and heard this guy commentate while he's driving, and go to Roblox, y'all are gonna have a blast.
Give us a demo, Jackson.
Nick down to the inside of Jackson Knock, down the back straightaway, to the inside in the final corner out of turn number 4. Nick to the lead. He's going to win your championship, your season 12.
I
love
I see the tears dripping down your cheek as you say that.
Yeah, I didn't
laugh. I think I realized what your problem is, though. Were you wearing that Denny Hamlin hat during the race?
That was an interview he just gave you.
I was wearing the Denny Hamlin.
Then that's why you finished second.
Oh man, right? You got the Denny curse.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
Straight to
somebody
the
who can
heart.
seem to get away from a lot of the wrecks out there is Jason Greenwell. Seems to be the meat and the sandwich on every single 3 wide out there. Jason Greenwell, for God's sake, save me here. What in the world can this league do to better make it easier for you out there in the 83 machine?
Hey, the only wrecks I can't dodge are the ones with Bill, it seems like sometimes. Love you, Bill. Sorry, buddy.
Too many gin and tonic.
No, I'm just looking forward to getting out there in season 13. Like everybody else has said, thanks, Bill. If you need anything, just holler, and lots of us will help you out there. I'm just looking forward to getting out there and, wrecking some cars that are older than most of these guys. Them 87s. So I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a good show. I know, my folks back home and stuff really appreciate the broadcast. Think you guys do a hell of a job. They're always rooting for, not the 83, Brandon Jackson's their favorite driver. I'll never really live that down, but that's okay. But we have a great time, and just appreciate it. Appreciate the hell out of you guys.
Yeah, I like the tenacity of any pass you want to make. You always send it straight up the middle. I don't know why. Sometimes you pinball around, but then you seem to pull out of it no problem. Easy there, Dawson.
Hey,
pull out.
After real fast, can you give me a Mr. Pompous? Can you say, hey, Mr. Pompous?
I can't do that. I believe I saw Marshall was in here somewhere.
No,
I still wear the
Marshall
polos,
isn't
though.
Marshall isn't here, but I need to hear from the broadcaster this year. I have not heard that at all this year. We heard that for, 3 years? I need a Mr. Pompous.
Mr. Pompous. Who's that?
There you go.
Oh, yeah. So I got a nickname as Mr. Pompous from Marshall Crocker Jr. Because I would normally just log off of work, where I would wear a polo and then, convert it to a sim rig. So I was, always slightly better dressed. So then shortly after that, I decided to wear a monocle and a top hat to the next race with a tuxedo t-shirt camera. But it was fun. Good times.
And it was a total.
Yeah.
It was.
I think you also appeared as Ricky Bobby before too, didn't you?
I have appeared as Ricky Bobby.
Nice. And this
here's
gentleman is
the
why I
all
check
the
the
bet there
cameras
is.
before we go live.
That's why he crashes so much, because if he ain't first, he's last.
All right, Jay.
All right, Jay, go ahead and give it to me, man. You haven't raced in this league yet, but it's going to be time, and the time is going to be in less than a month here. Talk to me about it, man.
Yep. I've applied officially, or at least when I race and have.
Well, but you've seen it from the outside. Is everything? I mean, you nervous to get behind the wheel, or is it?
I'm always nervous to get behind the wheel. Of course, I have an old rig too.
That's all right, man. I've seen guys in computer chairs and look like they're steering a paper plate, and they still win.
Hey, we've got our ass kicked with controllers before, so.
I almost won Bristol in a controller.
Yeah, Dawson went crazy at Bristol with a controller.
My first ever race.
Yeah, I was like, who's this guy? What the hell?
Wait, I came from Forza, so what you're saying is if I use a controller, I might actually have a shot?
That's not what we're saying. That's not what we're saying.
No. Not recommended.
I did a bandit race with keyboard and mouse. I don't
If
know
you
what
want,
you guys
if you want pure anxiety, don't do it.
No,
All right,
just
let's move
I'll
on.
just
Yep.
Let's move on if Jay does everything because we got.
All right,
Kevin in here.
Kevin Foster, the
Yeah,
master
good.
disaster in the number 8. Talk to me.
Oh, season 13. Well, I did learn something tonight. It is very important to me that GFR didn't win the team championship, and that kind of, lack of a better word, let's say, made me unhappy because, I figure we should be number 1. So we got a lot of work to do as far as cleaning that up. But and back to everyone's, the camaraderie is amazing in this league. Each and every one of these guys every Wednesday, if they're not there, it's sad. It's sad because, we like to see them on the track and we like to be there and we just like to be around with the guys we hang out with. And I love that portion of it. But, what I get most fulfillment out is, seeing the same faces there. But the team aspect, as far as, with our team, I love it. Nick, thank you very much. And also congratulations, Nick, on your championship. But just, what Nick has taught me and made me a better driver. And, all the run-ins that I've had through all 12 seasons so far with everyone has, just taught me to be a better person, A, in life, but also B, on the track. And you guys up there broadcasting it is amazing. I love going back and watching the races. And thank you for all that you guys do there. Bill, appreciate everything you do behind the scenes that a lot of people don't get to realize, how much, time and effort it takes to, put this league on. But, from the bottom of my heart, thank each and every one of you for, every week in and out. And just, season 13 is going to be special.
Kevin, without getting into any real long detail, because we need to try to keep things
Yes.
short now, can you explain to these guys how you have able yourself to go and actually talk to some people and generate funding in real life? Yes, I know they're business contacts.
Yes, perfect example. I got a new towing company that is, local. I do run an automotive repair shop in Katy, Texas, not Austin, Texas. It's on the championship flyer. And then, I showed them a couple videos of the SimTraX, broadcast. I showed them a couple of videos and I showed them, the great renderings that you guys don't get to see that Nick does for us, the pictures of the cars. I showed him some pictures of the cars and everything. I was like, man, you would look good in this car. He's like, what? I was like, your company on the side of this car, that would look good. And he's like, really? I was like, yes. He's like, how much is it? I was like, for the low payment of $250 or more, whatever you want to donate, we can build you a car. And he's like, well, sign me up. And then I sent him, I have a sponsor package that I give to all my reps and anyone I come in contact with. And it's amazing how much, revenue you can gain. And just those small things, people donate $25, $30, whatever it is. And that just goes towards, equipment and stuff like that, just to make yourself better. And also just to help spread the wealth amongst the team. So.
Wow.
It can work. That's the MO here. It can work.
Yes.
Wow.
All right.
You have to be as outgoing as Kevin is.
It's
Yeah,
charming.
Yeah, put your sales hat on. So.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Bivouac.
Yep. All right, Mark Allen, going. Tell me what you got to say.
Lord. Okay. First of all, what a year. Bill, I thank you so much for not quitting on us and doing another season. I also thank you so much for adding a dirt race next year. But I also like to thank Mason for getting me into this league however many years ago. And, I started racing this league when I was 11 and now I'm 15, so I feel legit. But, yeah, I mean, I don't got much else to say other than I'm ready to come back next season and do whatever it takes to try to get out of the whatever.
I have a very quick question for you.
Okay.
Where is your award?
It's over there.
Why is it?
You want to see it?
Your head? Why is it over your head like the rest of those are?
Uh-oh.
Got fired.
There you go.
He won a major award.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Oh yeah, also, I've probably driven over my head a couple times this season, and I've probably said some things I probably shouldn't have said. So Kevin and Dawson, I'm sorry, and I still love you.
Oh, he apologized. This is surprising.
Wow.
And gentlemen, you will be able to continue.
He might deserve an award for that one.
Oh man,
You will be able to roll this back and save that
changed
clip.
driver. Oh,
Can we
man.
go back to Kevin for a second?
This
It only took
man's
him 3 lanes to come up,
This man's beaver nuggets have definitely dropped.
Oh, jeez.
There you go. Beaver nuggets have dropped on the bivouac.
Oh, the beaver nuggets.
We all just watched it together. What a beautiful moment.
But that.
We all heard it. We all heard it together. We all heard it. We didn't watch it.
I'm shedding a tear over here. I just, he hit puberty.
Yeah.
All right, driver and broadcaster,
Yes, I hate
Marshall
you, Dawson.
Crocker. Talk to me.
Well, first of all, I got to say, I know I've been away from this league for too many months when Mark Allen's voice sounds like it's aged 10 years. That was insane. You started talking, and I went, oh my gosh, I've been away for too long. But yeah, no, it's great to be back. Just talking to you guys again. Wish I could have made it for the beginning, but I'm gonna keep it quick and simple. I got 3 main promises for this coming season. First of all, just an update. The job that took me away from broadcasting initially, I'm done. I'm out. I got 1 more year of school. Get a focus, which is interesting the way it gives me more and less time, which means hopefully going to be involved in this league much closer to the interval I was back in the olden days. But got 3 promises. So first of all, I've been getting quite a bit into doing a lot of paint design and graphic design in general, both motion and regular graphics. First promise for all of you guys, anybody in this league who wants their own personal image, maybe doesn't get a chance to do any fancy custom painting, they don't know how, they don't have the assets, or they don't have the money to pay for that stuff. All of you guys deserve your own paint scheme, your own signature style, either to rep your sponsors or otherwise. So from now till the start of the season, no cost, nothing at all. Get me any information you can. Give me a DM on Discord. I'm going to make all of you, anybody interested in your own custom paint. Could be similar to what I ran this season whenever I was racing, making, my little nature schemes or whatever. Something similar to that. Any design you have in mind, going to do them out of my own pocket for you guys because you deserve it. I enjoy doing it. I need the practice. And you guys all get you deserve your own iconic kind of image on the broadcast. Number 2, basically everything Bill talked about earlier about the website, the actual web design, design of merch. There was a funny thing somebody mentioned in the YouTube chat earlier about all the commercials I've been showing up in. I know I almost featured more on the broadcast this year than I did when I used to broadcast, and I wasn't even around. But with any commercial stuff like that, just any work that has to go into the league, that's what I'm doing now. That's really with the all the practice I need and everything I think I can contribute to the league. So, Bill, we'll talk in the future. I know this is the first time I've been able to talk to you in quite a while, but we're going to get back involved in that way. And finally, it was a pleasure to run with you guys this season. The couple races I did, there was a point up into that last race where I believe I had the highest average finish of anybody to run multiple races, and I was going to hold that over all your heads, and then I absolutely choked it at the end and left for a while. So that stat is a stat in Sim Racer Hub that's lost to history. But in the meantime, it was really fun to kind of get to see your guys' perspective. I fell in love with racing all over again, getting to be on the broadcast, be on the other side of it, see how gosh diddly darn fast Nick is in person. It's really annoying. But I would like to offer, if I come back at all this season, much more rare than I did this year. But anybody with sponsors, anybody with sponsorship that needs some eyes on the broadcast, that needs a guy that's hopefully going to do his best to run up front and not wreck any race cars. I want to rep you guys because the league, it was great to see the promise that Patrick and Stella were putting on this year. I think the league's in great hands, going in the right direction going forward. And in my own special way, I want to help you guys individually and the league as a whole. And I'm sure Bill and I will talk the next couple weeks going into the future. But great to be back. Want to get involved and just want to tip my hat to the great job that was done in my stead once I left. This league is going great places, and conversations like this getting figured out are the reason why. Everybody same goal, and we're going to get there together. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Marshall.
Thank you. That's a great offer that you're making there too, by the way, Marshall. Thank you. Appreciate
Awesome. Mason Flagar, you're up.
Oh, okay. I just want to thank everybody that's made this league what it is. Patrick, you've done an amazing job this season. Bill, thank you for putting this on week in, week out. I want to thank Mark for really helping me improve this season. Hopefully I can carry that on to next season. I want to thank Jackson for giving me motivation. I got to stay in front of him on track. I mean,
oh, of course.
That's my big goal this season, stay in front of Jackson.
That's an honor.
And Curtis. But you gotta make sure he's there. I don't have much else. Just thank you guys for making this league what it is.
Oh yeah, man! Great job on the championship run. I think you might have it next year. But the one who ended up taking it away was Nick Nickerson, and they're in the number 2, but came number 1. All right, man. Well, this seems to be your season. I don't know if you want to change anything.
Yeah, probably not much. I don't want to reciprocate what has been said many times here, but there's a lot of shared feelings. So let's keep kind of going forward here. So first and foremost, I just want to, I hope that Bill, your procedure goes well and solves whatever issues you're having. I know have that kind of stuff lingering around. It's not fun. I just hope everything goes good with your. Wasn't a surgery, but just some kind of procedure there. But that'll make you happy, and I'll ask an actual question. Bill, what kind of ideas do we have for recruitment races before the start of season 13?
I hadn't really considered doing any recruitment races again.
Okay.
I was kind of letting things go by, recommendations and word of mouth. If
okay.
you want to host recruitment races, I'm fine for that. I don't know how much time I can devote to that though.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's tough recruiting new people into the league because as we saw, like this group that came through, like they definitely had like that kind of vibe of official racing where every race is like the last lap of a championship or race or whatever, and there just wasn't like a lot of give and take. I feel like sometimes, but. I don't know. We will try to find something in the next couple of weeks to bring on some new people. But maybe another topic here is I wrote some notes down. So Marshall talked about creating some graphics and paints for people, but on another deal here. So lately in my professional career, I've been dabbling with AI, ChatGPT for various things, and you can do a lot with AI when it comes to graphic designing, like creating t-shirts and graphics or whatever is very, very time consuming. And Bill, we can kind of get together and see if we can come up with some kind of way to utilize AI to create t-shirts and graphics
you can see I've actually stepped up that. I have actually stepped in that direction. So yes.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
This shirt is designed by AI.
Oh, really? Okay, awesome. I just assumed that maybe somebody came to you and like, hey, here's a cool picture or something, because that looked like it took a lot of time. But if it was done with AI, probably not. Hell yeah. Okay.
It was
Well,
AI, and I touched up areas of it.
cool. I guess maybe another point for some of you new guys out here who join this league, I just wanted to point out that if you go out to buy new equipment or upgrade your computer for sim racing, please reach out to some of us. I've been with iRacing and we're for 15 years. I've bought pretty much everything you can buy out there. Brett's another one that's very knowledgeable in computers. There's a couple other guys, can't really think of their names right now, but please reach out before you buy any new equipment and try to get some kind of idea of like what's a good purchase or not. I've seen too many people spend a lot of money on equipment that ends up failing a year later or whatever. And the last thing I wanted to say is next year, I probably won't be able to make every single race. So Pat and Stella, if it's okay with you, I would like to join you up in the booth there. And if that's possible, then I can go ahead and try to look into buying a gaming computer to bring with me to these hotels. And yeah, I mean, it's just something to do on Wednesdays that I can't make the races. I don't know how you guys feel about that. We definitely talk about it, but that'd be cool.
Yeah, we'll kind of poke around with it there a little bit. I know those gaming laptops aren't cheap. I know I tried to do a remote broadcast one time, and the screen share and the piggybacking, and it took everything and made it a quarter the size. That was a nightmare, but
yeah, I just need some. I doubt my company will let me install iRacing on my work computer, so I gotta get something.
Right. All right, Nick. Well, we'll definitely talk later. Let's get a hold of Nicole Krazel here and talk to me a little bit about RC up there. How hard is it, and what can we expect this upcoming year?
I want to thank Bill first of all for I started in season 10 and he took a chance on me on RCing. I know a little bit about racing, watch races all the time. I'm still learning, as you all know. We all make mistakes sometimes and stuff. So hopefully this year was a really good season that I thought for racing. Just looking out for you guys to make sure that it's all fun, and that's what this league is to me. It is fun for everybody to do stuff, make friends. I've met a couple people when I've actually went to races and stuff, and that's what I like is that there is a camaraderie with all you guys. And I try to come in on Tuesdays when you guys are practicing so I can actually race with you guys, see how the car feels, and get a feel of that, of what you guys are actually feeling then on Wednesdays. And that way I have a little more understanding of the car and how it works and how it runs and stuff. I mean, I'm no mechanic by all means. I have no idea. But I take into consideration of what you guys are going through. Tight racing is good and stuff like that. So I'm hoping for another good year, another season. I'm glad we're having another season, and I'm glad you guys are all here to help me. You guys come up in the booth then, and if you see something, I take everybody's eyes into consideration, because I might not see it the way you guys do it, and see it differently. But you never know. If we sit down and discuss it, you can change my mind and I can change your mind. So it works both ways. So I'm happy you guys are all here to help me in with this. So thanks to everyone.
All right, Nicole. Cool. I gotta admit, that's not the way I saw that going. Awesome. Nolan Gross, your turn. I thought you was gonna say like, you guys suck.
I mean,
that was a
I
lot
do.
nicer than I expected. Nolan, your turn, buddy.
Might be having mic issues because he muted and unmuted and then muted and then unmuted.
No.
I don't think he's exactly here right now. He
Boo.
probably
Well,
is listening in.
He was muting and unmuting just now.
He's
Like
scrambling.
while we were
I saw that.
He's scrambling.
Panic.
All right, well, Sean Britt, you know what that means. You're next.
Yeah. Just happy with everything that went through so far. Not gonna dwell into what happened, just more towards everyone, just don't take it too seriously. Think about it with just having fun, not trying to do everything for anyone. Just do it for yourself and don't try and focus on anything crazy. Just I really want everyone to have a good time with it. If anyone has that type of feeling where you're feeling upset or things aren't going your way for 2 or 3 races, I am free to talk. Because, I mean, I've been there and it's not pretty, but I'm willing to do that.
All right, Sean. Well, hopefully we're able to push past the end of the last season. I think you've got another playoff run in your future. We just got to see you make it to the end there, and hopefully you get everything straightened out. You're a heck of a racer, man. We've seen you on camera. How you do it, I think you racing in socks is insane, but that's okay. It's still a
That's
great
what I
job.
race in. Can't race in anything other than socks.
What?
Oh, actually,
actually,
barefoot.
I bought them fancy racing shoes.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, but what the heck?
For the real car.
There they
for
are.
the real car, of course.
Heel toe. He's ready for the 87s. Get some.
Those look like some sweaty feet.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Those things do not breathe, I'll tell you that.
Oh.
Nah.
Nolan, did you get it working?
All right, Bill. Go ahead and give us the final word there, man.
Hey, man, final word is this. We will see you all in the infield care center.
Let's go.
Okay,
There you go.
Okay. That's right.
So we are set. We confirmed that the 20. It is the 25th, correct, Patrick?
Yes.
That was Wednesday. Yeah. So we'll return September 25th. I will work as diligent as I can on getting the schedule out here very soon. And just keep checking here in Discord. Keep checking the website. I do want to reiterate on what Sean said. We have helped people in this league. We've had people who have had some very bad situations go on. And the one thing I can tell you is you cannot sit in a simulator and think that you are winning a $10,000 trophy. You can't sit here and think that you just won the biggest race of your life. You have to look at this as enjoyment. Competitive enjoyment is probably the best way I can put it. And that's what I want you to be here for. So I want everybody to come back the 25th or sooner and kick the shit out of this season. Because 13 is a number in itself that can be, a little jinxed. Knock on wood. So let's not jinx 13. Let's make 13 one of the best, if not the best. And I appreciate it. And last but not least, y'all are kind of making history tonight. Because I'm telling you, I don't think any league has ever done this before. Broadcasting this type of meeting. And all of you that came here tonight, participated, thank you. Great job. Appreciate y'all. It is 11:10 my time, and I get up 4 in the morning. So I'm going to sign off from y'all and tell y'all thank you very much.
Checkout time. All right, Bill. Appreciate you guys. Say bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks for coming. Have a
Thanks,
good
Bill.
night.
Goodbye.
Thanks, everybody.
And on that bombshell.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, that is going to do it for us. These guys are something else. Really making history here tonight. As Bill was even saying out there, a couple of things they're looking to change here tonight. Working a little bit on the financial end aspect of it, and don't forget. Remember, we start again on September 25th. Make sure you are there. We're going to make sure we put plenty of pieces out there to talk and have make sure you guys can be ready for the upcoming season, and we see how many people that are offering to help at what you can do. But don't forget, you can sponsor, you can sign up, you can heck, you can even race with these guys. We're looking for racers, and even watch out for our guys in the recruitment races. It looks like Nick might be heading that off, going ahead and trying to rope in a few more guys. I guarantee you, once we start getting 30 to 35 man fields, this is going to be insane, and definitely one to watch out for. But once again, September 25th, guys, don't forget. And remember, you can find us anywhere, even SimTraxBroadcasting.com. You can even go to the BanditRacingLeague.com. Definitely check out what they've got there, especially for Geezer Authentics and all of their following sponsors. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us here at SimTrax Broadcasting, bringing you the first league meeting here from the Bandit Racing League. Until next time, when we see you this upcoming, actually tomorrow for the USORL League, we'll be kicking that off over there at Indianapolis. I think Jay will even be out there on the track. So be well, be safe, be kind, and we'll see all you guys next time.